I have set myself the challenge to build the ultimate stealth camper van that can be mistaken for a builder's van from the outside, but be a fully functioning camper van on the inside, complete with sign writing, a hidden skylight, a solar panel, and even CCTV. Last week I stripped out and cleaned the inside of the van, ready to start building. And in today's episode, we're going to be tackling the roof, cutting a really big hole. I've got a skylight to go in. I'm going to be installing the solar panel on the roof as well, and I need to sort of get it so that it almost looks like there's no solar panel up there whatsoever. So I've got a really good idea for that, but we're going to start off by painting the roof rack because it's just currently a metal colour and I want it to be all black so everything can just sort of blend in seamlessly. That's the idea anyway. When I put the solar up here, the wires that come off the solar are going to be black, and I'm going to sort of cable tie them to the roof bars sort of along here, all nice and discreet, and the cable ties will also be black. So in order for it to not stand out like a sore thumb, I think this will look better being black. For this job I'm going to be using the Hammerite Hammered Black. I know you're probably thinking, well yes, it would have been a lot easier just to probably take the roof rack down and paint it on the floor, but the last one I did like this, I found it really difficult because I had to keep turning it, whereas if this is actually suspended higher with these brackets, then it should be easier to paint, in theory. I just need to make sure I don't drip any of this savage, non-forgiving hammered black paint down the paintwork of the van. So much better in black. So, now that the roof rack's all painted nicely, this is the skylight that's going to be going in the roof. God. If I can get it out without breaking it. This is it. So it's not the lowest of profile skylights that you can get, but it's not too bad. The plan is it's going to go in there. Looks pretty doable. I mean, originally I decided I wanted to do this just in case I didn't take the bulkhead out and I needed an escape. So that's why I went for this one, so that I can pretty much still get in. Jesus. I can still get in through in case of an emergency, but because I'm going to be putting an escape hatch in the front of the bulkhead here, then this will literally just be used for ventilation for when I'm cooking and when I'm sleeping inside the van. So the first thing I need to do is make a template for the opening, which is going to be the hole that I'm going to cut, and then work out where that's going to go up on the ceiling before I start making any holes. I also need to cut this bar away that's just here, because I never painted that one because I knew that I was going to be cutting it out to fit this in. So work out where it's going to go, then cut that bar out, then cut a massive hole, and then get that sealed in place. One of the things that I think about when I'm sort of inside my van and I'm sort of planning where everything's going to go, I don't only think, right, well, where's the kitchen going to go, where's the bed going to go, I also think, well, what am I actually going to need in this van to be able to use it as a camper van, and where am I going to store all that? And when you're searching for camping stuff all the time online, loads of things pop up on your social media, and I don't know about you, but I always seem to get adverts for Temu. And without really trialing it that much, it always seems too good to be true. Everything's really, really low priced, and you just think, well, am I gonna order that? Am I gonna waste my money? Is it gonna be a piece of junk? Well, Temu actually reached out to me and gave me a bunch of vouchers and said, you can spend it on anything you want, camping related, if you want anything. Give us some feedback and let us know what you think. But not only did they give me vouchers, they're offering you a £100 voucher bundle to purchase products from Temu. This offer is only available through my link in the description, but you can also access this voucher by using my discount code on the app. And take this luxurious camping chair that I got from Temu. This was literally just one of the items that I ordered. Comes with a little storage pocket on the side, keep your phone, keep your snacks in. But this is really cool. That folds down, that pops down, and now you've got a little place to keep your beer. This arrived yesterday, and this is the first time I've actually sat in it, and it is really, really comfortable. That's not all I ordered from Temu. I actually got this dry bag as well. It's really good build quality. There's lots of areas to clip things on with carabiners. There's a little place for you to keep your water bottle. It is a backpack as well, so you can pretty much carry it as a backpack. I went for the high-vis version just because if you take it out on a paddleboard, it might make you a bit easier to be seen. It also has a pocket inside. The main thing is I just can't believe the price of it. It was so cheap, and the build quality is you know, it's fantastic. I mean, it's not going to be the same if you spend several £100s on one of these, but as long as it keeps your stuff dry inside and it actually does seal, then why not? If anyone's trying to get into camping and they know how much stuff they need to buy and they don't want to sort of break the bank, then this sort of stuff from Temu is just ideal. I also got this, which is an all-in-one pot and pan set. It all packs down into this small little bag. Take that off. A couple of lids. A pot. Another one. So that's two. A frying pan. A compact, like, sort of ladle. I also ordered this. I always get a lot of comments in my other van about the flashlight I've got, and this is, well, it looked very similar when I ordered it. Whoa, look at the size of that. Still not that dark in here, but let's just check it out. Whoa, look at that. Bit lighter. Lighter again. Flashing. Hopefully no one's got epilepsy. Did I order anything else? This. See, now, I've always wanted one of these and I've never actually bought one, and what it is it's a camp shower. So what you do, you open this, you pop your water in there, you then hang it up on your back door or something, and then you've got this little nozzle, you turn that, and then you get water. So you can have a shower. So if you are starting your camping journey and you don't have anything and you need to get a lot of stuff without breaking the bank, I will put a link to Temu below if you want to check that out, and you'll get a bit of a discount as well. Now what we do is we work out where we want this. So just say we want it around about there. I mean, I will be measuring off that side and that side, so I definitely get it dead in the middle. And then literally I just make a little mark, drill a hole, and then line that up on the top, draw around it, and that's where I'm going to cut. Here's our centre mark, and then all we need to do is line those two up there like that. And that's where it's going to go. Shards of metal going everywhere. I've been criticised in the past for the lack of safety equipment I use, so I'm actually protecting my eyes for once. So that's roughly where it's going to go. If you're down here, can you see it from this side if you just walk around the van? No. It's going to let a nice amount of light into this van though, and also work really well for ventilation. So now we have a hole. We just have to line that up with the hole we've got in there. We've already marked front of the van, back of the van on here. And then all we do is draw around it. There we go. we now have a hole in the roof. And then you realise, once you've cut the hole, actually how unlevel this this actual roof of these vans are. It's like that. Not to fear, the frame that we put around the hatch will solve that problem for us. Hopefully it will sandwich it nice and flat. Let's check to see if it fits. Yeah, you see how it dips there, look? So that's all going to need to be pulled up once it gets sandwiched with the wooden batten framing that's going to go on there. Yeah, so once the wood's on there, that'll push these parts up like that. We just got to make sure that all this fits nicely, which it does. That'll sort of sandwich that together and just pull it all up nicely. What? So we've got a lot of packing to do up around here. At least I can finally stand up in this van though. I could probably squeeze out of here if I needed to. The escape hatch. Some of these areas have got like 3 layers of this mastic sealant. I've not taken the top off yet because I'm not ready to seal it down. Probably a 2-person job, but I'm going to do it on my own because I do most things on my own. See how that just sort of pulls the ceiling up. Well, just sort of flattens it a bit really. I'm probably going to change all these around because I'm not sure which one goes where yet, but I did cut some grooves out of here just to kind of get it to fit a bit better. But that's it up with just 1 screw in each. I'm just going to check the top just to make sure that it's sealed properly. So as you can see, it's all gummed up nicely around here, around there as well. So like I said, I'm going to put some CT1 along this line here. That's way too much on that side, but I can, like I said, I can trim it back. It's not to look pretty, it just needs to be sealed. I don't want any leaks whatsoever. Now I do have a plan of how I'm going to get my solar panel up here. I was in B&Q earlier and they make these decking tiles, I think they're called, and it pretty much fits that solar panel all the way along. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a bit off the edge just to make it fit a little bit better. I'm not going to cut anything off that side. I'm going to paint it all black because even though that looks nice, this is a stealth fan, so it needs to look like it's part of the roof rack. It'll be painted black on the top and on the bottom, every nook and cranny, and I just need to join it together. Screw the solar panel down and then it can just go up on the roof, and hopefully you won't really be able to see that there's a solar panel up there. There's the top finished. This has only had 1 coat, which will be fine for the top because most of this is going to be covered up with a solar panel anyway. But the underside, that I'm going to flip over in a minute and start painting, the other side's going to need probably at least 2 coats because that's the side that you'll see from when you're sort of stood down on ground level, so it needs to look as black as possible. And that's the underside, 2 coats on there. I think that's going to be black enough to not stand out like a huge sore thumb up on the roof. Right. Oh, look at that. But other than that, I think that looks pretty good. What does it look like from down below? That side looks fine. That there just looks like that part of the roof rack has got some slats on it. Believe it or not, I'm actually going to put a ladder on the top as well. And the reason I'm doing that is just to make it look even more like a commercial vehicle. Ladder, look at that. That just kind of finishes off the commercial vehicle look that I'm going for. And from up here you've got a ladder, a roof hatch, it all fits perfectly. The solar panel is going to go up there. I'm also going to be fitting some CCTV onto here, all 4 corners, because this van's not going to have any windows. You need to see what's going on outside when you're inside, just in case someone tries your door handles or whatever. So there's going to be CCTV as well. You can probably tell by the weather it is another day, but it's time. Whoa, what have I done? Yeah. But we're going to fit the solar panel. Whoa, those clouds look a bit ominous over there. Look how grey that looks. Oh. Great weather to be drilling holes in the roof for this. Right, so that will go like that. Right, and what they've done here, look, is they've given you these little holes. So I'm going to put a washer over that, put a screw right down through, and that will secure it in place. And there's 1, 2, 4, 8 altogether. That'll do nicely. So it has just started raining, so I figured I'll just have a quick chat with you about how I'm going to get the solar wired up, essentially. Because the problem is with these power stations is they all come with these wires, right? This plugs in to the solar on the roof, and then it goes into one wire with a big nut on it, and then you've got the part that goes into the power station there. Now the issue is this is what's going to be on the roof, which allows us to put the wires through. But the problem is that even when you unscrew this, these here will not fit through that. And the only way I could probably think of doing it is by, oh, it's really raining now, is by cutting the wires and then feeding them through. And I decided, actually, I may have found a better way to do it than that. And what I've come up with, I bought 2 solar wires, one red, one black. They'll plug into the solar panel on the roof, like that. But rather than try and get this side through the holes, I'm going to cut them off. Bang, right? So then I've got 2 loose wires coming down from the ceiling into the van. Then, these 2 wires will then plug straight into this isolation box. I can then take this wire, which goes into the power station, and plug that straight into there. The reason why I decided to do it this way with these 2 connectors is because if at some point down the road I decide that I want to change the power station, I already know that Bluetti use a different one of these to what like EcoFlow do or Anchor. So it just means that I can unplug the wire, plug a new one in, and then connect to whatever power station I want. That way, If I do want more power at some point, I can change my power station to whatever suits my needs. If it doesn't make sense, I'm going to show you in a minute anyway, once the rain stops. Tell you what though, now that it's raining, this gives me a good opportunity to check for any leaks. And I'll be honest, it's blown dry. So as far as the positioning of this goes, normally I would sort of put it along here, so then when it comes in through the other side it can just follow the wall down. But because I don't really want people knowing that this is a camper van, these things tend to give it away. I can look at a roof and see that and know that there's at least a solar panel up here. So I'm actually going to put it there, so it's close to the skylight but not so close that it catches. And then I'll just run the wire through a bit of conduit and then along to the wall here and then down. Now this conduit comes down through the roof and that will stop any vibrations cutting through the wires. I know this looks a bit janky and a bit rattly and all that lot. This is literally temporary because I haven't got ply lining in the van yet, but it's just so I can see if I can get this hooked up just to make sure it's all working. So all I need to do now is plug this wire into the bottom of that, like so. We've got live in, we've got negative in, and then plug this part into the back of this power station and see if it charges it. I mean, we don't have any sun today, do we? But right. On a cloudy day like this, I'm not expecting miracles, but so nothing yet. It's still on 59%. But then when I turn this on, we should get input 0 watts. Here we go. Come on, give me something. I know it's cloudy. 19 watts. Haha. But the main thing is, it's working. So really happy with that. As my plan for this van is to make it the ultimate stealth van, so it's going to be all sign written and everything, it's going to look properly like a builder's van. It's not going to have any windows in it, so I need to have some sort of view of the outside world. So I am going to be installing a camera system as well. So these tiny little cameras are going to be mounted to the roof rack. Hence another reason why the roof rack had to be black, so that these don't stand out like a sore thumb. So while I'm up on the roof, I might as well get these mounted, get the hole drilled for the wires for these as well, and I'll bring them down through the ceiling as well. So I now have 4 cameras, one here, one at the front, one on that side, and one at the back as well. And they all come with these wires that I'm going to feed through. Might just put this other unit there, I'm not sure yet. We finally have a bit of sun, thank goodness. Oh, it's really hot up here now. So, as you may or may not be aware, I've run conduit all the way along the ladder with the CCTV wires coming out. It's all just there at the minute. So now, no matter what I do, this ladder is now a part of this van. So, it's not only there for show, but it also helps conceal all of those wires. I think it looks really good. I'm going to be installing another one of these now, but I'm going to be doing something a little bit different because that won't go in there, and even with these screwed off, it won't go in there. But I think I've come up with a little hack. And it might be a hack, it might not be, but what I'm going to do, unscrew these all together. So then that just leaves us with just the casing without the connectors on it. And I've actually got these grommets, and these actually came with the wires for the CCTV. And they fit in there perfectly. So what that means is I can feed the wires through this, in through to the roof, without having to cut any wires, because there's no way that's going through there. I reckon about there will work just fine. Neither of those are the prettiest job I've ever done, but it doesn't need to be pretty, it just needs to not leak. Oh, we've got a bit of sun. Right, let's have a look and see what we're generating now. 110 watts. Can you see that? Probably not. Can you see that? 110 watts. Now I've got all of these wires hanging out the ceiling. I could probably actually, because I've got a power station here as well, I might even be able to power the CCTV up. Right, well, I've kind of wired this up. This is a little bit sketchy, but it's wired up. There's a lot of stuff that goes into the back of this. Very confused. Well, you think it was really confusing. I just wired it up without any instructions, so we'll see just how confusing it is. Right, plug that in. Obviously this isn't fused and this is only temporary, it's just to see if we can get this monitor to come on. Right, okay. So we have a light on here which says that's on, so that's working. So why isn't the monitor working? Well, rather than expect you to wait around for me to get that working, I mean it would have been fun if I could get the CCTV working at the end of this video. I mean, what like a final sort of hurrah, but I need to read the instructions. I'll probably get it all wired up properly anyway when I do the electrics for this van. Obviously everything is going to be running off the power station, but you still have to sort of get all your wires run and everything like that. So that'll come in another video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this stealth camper build. I'm really happy with the way that the roof came out. And from the bottom, you sort of take a walk around the van and it doesn't look like there's solar up there or anything. It literally just looks like a work van. I've done my best to hide the wires as well, so even if you get close, you can't really see that there's wires there. So I'm really happy with it. Thank you to everybody that continues to support the channel through buying me a beer through the link in the description. It's really appreciated. And also thank you to all of my Patreons. You're all legends, and I'll see you in the next video for another bit of this stealth camper build. Cheers. Been waiting to do this. Ta-da! Look at that. Ignore the mess. I will be cleaning this up.